Hello and welcome back to another video. Today's Wednesday, so this is Waffle on a Wednesday, where I answer your questions to the best of my ability. And once again, I'd like to thank everyone that left questions on last week's video. Otherwise today's video simply wouldn't be happening, so thank you to everyone that sent in all your questions. So let's kick off this week's Waffle on a Wednesday with a really good question from Peter Smith. Peter says, great videos as always, really enjoy the content. Thank you, Peter. I have a question. If it has not been asked before, how did you end up on Rebecca's drive? What a fantastic question. Yeah, fair play. Last October, in fact, towards the end of last October, Rebecca got in touch with me, asked me if I would come and help her finish off her camper van. And I wasn't really doing anything at the time, and I thought I could actually do with a bit more content for my channel, so why not? So last October I came to here to help Rebecca with her van, and that was, funny enough, about a year ago this week, I think. I'll have to check my diary. But anyway, I got here, I started helping Rebecca with her van, and then good old Boris Johnson decided to put the entire country into lockdown once again. So this week could be our first anniversary of vaniversary. So there you go, that's how I ended up on Rebecca's driveway. So here's another personal question, but it's okay, I don't mind. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to answer your questions, whether they be personal, whether they be about camper vans or van life in general. Please do keep your questions coming. I mean, it's my choice whether I read them out or not, right? So ask away, ask me what you like. Right, this comes from John O'Muse. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, Mel? Regards, John. What a fantastic question, and it really did get me thinking, where am I going to be in 5 years time? Well, it made me think about the past, and in the past I used to frequent Australia quite often before the pandemic, yeah, and before life got in the way, as it were. Every other year I'd try and go to Australia for Christmas, and I haven't been back there, yeah, for probably 6-7 years now. And I do miss it because I've got some family out there, and I've got some really close friends I really do care about. So in 5 years time I see myself with 2 camper vans, one in Australia, one in the UK, and that's what I'll be making videos about, hopefully. Yeah, exciting times ahead. So please do subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, because without you guys none of this would be possible. I really do thank each and every one of you. Right, next question. Now, I rather like this question. It comes from Sammy Sam. Just wondered, Mel, I have a white plastic type ceiling in my camper, but I fancy changing it to wood. Is there any particular wood you use, and does it affect the weight? Cheers, love the vids. Thank you, Sam, that's very kind of you. Now, Sam, I use wood throughout my van build. I don't particularly like the plastic stuff, although I would have thought the plastic you've got on your ceiling is probably quite light, and most importantly it probably forms a vapor barrier as well. So if you was to take all that plastic down, do consider the fact that you are removing the vapor barrier from your ceiling. So if you want to replace your plastic with wood, you're going to have to replace the vapor barrier as well as the wood. The wood I use is soft pine wood. It is really light. It's only about 7mm thick, and it's cladding basically, and I've made loads of videos all about it. I will try and find a video for you and put it in the description of this video, then you can watch that video and make up your own mind. Me personally, I don't think I would want to take the plastic down, because it would be a lot of work to replace it with wood. But as far as weight is concerned, yeah, it probably would be a little bit heavier, but not much heavier, I don't think. But I do know for sure it would probably look a lot nicer. So yeah, think about it carefully before you start ripping it down. You will need to create some kind of vapor barrier for any insulation you've got up there in your ceiling. I hope that answers that question, and good luck if you do decide to do it. Hi Mel, just interested in your views on the importance of windows. I plan to do a stealth build and would mainly be full-time in the city. My thoughts are, as I will mainly be in the van during the evening, I would have blinds, curtains closed for privacy, so would the windows be a waste? Absolutely, yes, they would be a waste of time. If you really want to build a stealth van, then don't put any windows in your van at all. Windows are a real pain. Pardon the pun. If you have windows in your van, in the summer they generate heat inside your van, and in the winter you get condensation. So if you're going stealth, then definitely don't put any windows in your van, but do put some roof vents in the van. I would have one at the front and one at the back, so you can have air circulating through your van via the roof vents. I did exactly that with my LDV Maxus. I had one fan at the front, one fan at the back, so when I had the fans on I had one blowing, one sucking, and it was like, honestly, it was like a wind tunnel in there. So I had no problems with ventilation. And I did get an experience when I was parked up at, where was I, let me think, Lyme Regis. I was parked in Lyme Regis in a car park that had no overnight parking, and in the morning a couple of motorhomes got tickets. They had those nasty little yellow tickets in the window, and I was literally parked across the car park from them, no parking ticket. Boy, did I ever feel smug in my little LDV Maxus. So yeah, if you're going stealthy and you're going to be parking in the city as well, yeah, good luck finding a parking space. I would definitely recommend forget about the windows. Don't have windows in your van, but do have some skylights. I mean, you've got a big window right at the front of your van. As long as you don't block the bulkhead off, have some curtains or something, so during the day you can open your curtains, let plenty of light in through your front window. I hope that inspires you, and good luck with your build. Really, I really mean that. Good luck with your build, and good luck with parking and not getting any tickets. Love it. Now Errol McGull, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, mate, I do apologise. He's got a question: when you fit gas system with appliances, is it necessary to get the installation certificate from a gas engineer? Do insurance companies ask for one? Well, Earl, I always say to people when they ask me questions about fitting LPG in their van, if you're not sure what you're doing, then do get it done by a professional. You only get one life and you only get one chance at it. So yeah, if you're unsure about your LPG installation, always get it done by a professional. And I would definitely suggest, if you do install it yourself, do make sure you get it checked out by a qualified engineer. As for insurance companies, I can't really answer that question, whether they do ask for a certificate or not. My insurance company didn't. If you find an insurance company that specialises in modified vehicles, then it's probably your best bet. They're not specific to camper vans, but they do insure modified vehicles. Hi Mel, would you ever consider getting a motorhome to live in? That comes from Alistair Knox. Thank you, Alistair. That's a great question. Would I consider living in a motorhome? Absolutely. I mean, it'd be like a palace compared to my self-built Sprinter, I'd have thought. But yeah, I wouldn't rule out the possibilities of actually living in a motorhome. I think that would be absolute luxury. But for now, I'm quite happy living in my self-converted camper van. The one thing I do like about this is everything is so easy to change. Like I was talking the other day about changing my cooker, my kitchen, so that I can fit a cooker, because I have no oven in this van. I've just got 2-ring hob. So and to lower my bed as well, because my bed is quite high, so I'm thinking about lowering the bed so when I sit up in bed I don't hit my head on the cupboards. Yeah, this sort of van is really easy to change and chop about. I mean, I could actually rip everything out of this van probably in an afternoon and rebuild it over a couple of weeks. So for now, I'm happy with my van. But yeah, I wouldn't rule out the possibility in the future maybe of buying a motorhome. Thanks for the good question. Now, Adrian Lusty had a brilliant question. This is pure brilliance. I really like this. Hi Mel, quick question. As you know, I love a quick question. Could you put brackets on the back doors when they are open and put a board across the space to use as a seat, or would the weight be too much stress on the door hinges? I think that's a fantastic idea. Imagine that, having your back doors open and like a bench seat going across so you can sit down. The only problem I can see with that is where you store that bench seat once the doors are shut. That's the biggest problem I think you're going to find. But no, I don't see no reason why you couldn't do that. After all, my back doors, on this door here, I have a huge, great big spare wheel and the spare wheel carrier, and that's got to weigh on its own. That's got to be 40 kilos, I would have thought, just on that one door. fantastic idea. I really do like that. So yeah, maybe in the not too distant future I'm going to give this some thought and see what I can come up with. I will try that out, and Adrian Lusty, I will definitely give you credit for that if it works. So thank you for the great question and a brilliant idea. Absolutely brilliant, love it. Now the next question comes from a fellow Medway man, as he puts it, and this is from Daniel Alvin. Now Daniel does give me a bit of an autobiography before he answers the questions, but I'll get to the gist of it. Sorry Daniel. How do you deal with the plates, mugs and pans etc. banging and rattling around when driving, or is it just part of living in a van? Keep up the good work, from a fellow Medway man. Well Daniel, pots and pans rattling around in the back of your van when you're driving is definitely part of having a camper van, whether you live in your van full time or whether you're a weekend warrior. Yeah, stuff rattling around in the back of the van, it's all part of it. But what does concern you, sometimes you'll be driving, go around a corner or something, and you hear an almighty crash in the back of the van. That's when things get a little bit dicey and you are tempted to pull over and have a look to see what's gone bang in the back. I don't do that. If something goes bang in the back of my van, I tend to try and just accept that something's fallen over, something's made a mess in the back of the van, and deal with it when I get to wherever it is I'm going, or when there is a safe place to pull over. I never stop my van just to have a look, see what's gone bang in the back, because usually it's just a pot or a pan that's come flying out of a drawer, and it does happen. But as for the general things rattling around, I mean, stuff hangs up in the van, so all this stuff hanging, it does kind of rattle, and it is part of van life, I guess. Thanks for the great question. Now King 22 Curtis, I think that's how it's pronounced, I do apologise if I've pronounced that wrong. Would you build a van for someone who you did not know if the price was right? Yes I would, if the price was right. I'll definitely build a van for somebody else. Not planning on building a van for anyone else at the moment, but if you would like me to build your van for you, name your price, and if it's right I'll come and help you. Just be warned, that's exactly what Rebecca asked me, and I've been here for a year now. Also, how much roughly did it cost you to build your van with all the necessary stuff for a van build? Well, I'll be quite honest with you King, I've completely lost track of how much money I've spent on my van, but bearing in mind my van build is an ongoing project. I've been building this van now for 3 years and I'm still not quite finished it yet. Yeah, if you're on a tight budget, just start off by building your van really cheap and spend what you can afford, but build it in such a way, like I have, that you can modify it later on as and when you can afford to do so. Like recently, my most recent big purchase was my fridge. I've only just fitted that fridge this year, so it took me 2.5 years just to buy a proper fridge for this van. And my awning, for instance, I literally fitted that a couple of months ago, and even then it's still a really cheap awning, and I will upgrade that awning maybe next year when I can afford it. So it is an ongoing process, and I would shudder to think how much I've actually spent on this van build. Yeah, just stick to whatever budget you can afford. You don't need to spend thousands and thousands of pounds on a van. You can start off with a basic van build and add to it as and when you can afford to do so, just like I did. Anything is possible. Thanks for the great question. Now if you've got any questions for me, then please do leave your questions in the comments section of this video, and I will do my best to answer those questions next week. If you enjoyed this video, please do give me the thumbs up, and if you are new to my channel, then please do consider subscribing, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Ta-ra for now.